Hi guys, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. I am Amanda and I am in Zone 6A. Today I'm going to go ahead and harvest my first succession of potatoes. As you can see behind me, they've started to yellow. I'm going to go ahead and harvest them a little sooner than most, just because I want my potatoes to be on the smaller end. If you harvest them shortly after they flower, they'll be smaller, like new baby potatoes. If you wait for these to completely die back and turn brown, then you'll get a bigger, fuller size potatoes. So you're typically going to go ahead and dry those out in a shaded, cool room for a few days. You don't wash them beforehand, and this makes it so that you can store them for however long they stay good for in your cellar or in a basement or root cellar or whatever you have. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. I planted these, I believe, beginning of March. There were just a few seed potatoes that I had gotten from Home Depot. I can't even remember what varieties they are. I know there is a Yukon potato in here, and there might be a red potato, maybe even a purple potato. Not sure. We're going to find out once we get these harvested. So I forgot to mention beforehand, typically when you are picking a spot for your potatoes, you want them to get full sun. I did a dirt method, but you can do a hay method, which I'm thinking about trying out next year. And you want to ensure that they are watered consistently and evenly. If you start to or forget to water them on a consistent basis, they will start to split and your nice round potatoes will start to have funny, weird shapes. So I made sure that these were watered well. Today I did not water them just because I knew I was going to be harvesting today, and you do not want to get your potatoes wet after harvest, just because you don't want them to rot as fast as they would if they did get wet. This is an onion that sprouted in my cupboard, and I just went ahead and popped him in the ground. He's not quite ready to come out, so I'm going to try my best to work around him. And I also have asparagus in here as well. This is going to be my designated asparagus bed next year, so I'm not going to plant anything else in this bed for next season. I'm going to go ahead and buy more asparagus starts. Hopefully I can get some 2-year starts, just so next season I just have to wait one more year, because asparagus is one of those things that if you don't plant it the first thing, you're going to be waiting longer to get the harvest, just because it does take 3 years for asparagus to start giving you spears, and you're not supposed to pick off of them between then. So I've already kind of peeked under my soil a few times, just because I was so impatient and just couldn't wait to see. And I know for a fact that I do have some pretty good sized potatoes sitting on the very top of this soil. Throughout this growing season, I have piled up the soil along their roots, just to give myself some more potato harvest. And I'm really excited to see how many potatoes are lying beneath in this wooden container. So it looks like I had a red potato. A couple red potatoes. This is always something that I really wondered about. So this is actually the seed potato, and as you can see, it has a whole bunch of roots growing off of it, even with like a little baby potato that's starting, or a tuber that's starting. If I would have left this even longer, this potentially would have grown into a bigger new potato. So with about 3 seed potatoes, I got a pretty okay amount of potatoes. This is probably about a bag and a half of what I usually get from the grocery store, and I think I paid about $3 for those potatoes. So